Hello my friends, and welcome back to another video of the Tokyo Drafts. Today's video is gonna be a bit different from my previous ones. I have been contemplating a lot about my experiences as a student and my early career years, which I am going through right now, and I just really felt like sharing some true talk, and instead of just trying to focus on improving our skills, I think I'd like to focus today a little bit understanding where lies our responsibility as individuals to be good architects and to be skillful and use our expression, and to what extent the profession needs to take some responsibility as well to help us be better. I have been recently reading a lot about the status of the profession historically and also at this current moment that we're going through the pandemic for the third year now. I would like to share some of the things that I have researched about, but also connect these things to my personal experience. And just to give you a little bit of a background story, I entered architectural school in my home country, Greece, in the capital of Athens back in 2010. And this is a 5-year curriculum, and it's an integrated master's degree, which means that it's both bachelor's and master's on this 5-year term. And I did take a break in 2015 for work, and then again in 2018 after I graduated. But now I am also in the doctoral course of Tokyo Institute of Technology. It's my first year after 2-year research term. And I would just like to share how things have been for me so far. I can say I have been a long-term student, but I have always been connected to the profession, different job positions as a junior architect. I've also had 2 full-time positions when I took a break from my studies for 1 year at a time. And I can say that for most of these positions, the solemning thing is that 9 out of 12 interviews that I took, I was asked to work for free or for an amount of money that I could say is not dignifying for a young individual trying to be productive in a creative and challenging profession. I did end up working for little to no money for one of those positions as a student, just because I was really interested in the projects, and I was promised that I would get a percentage of the winnings of competitions that we would do. And in fact, we did win a few competitions, so I did receive some money from this particular collaboration. But now, entering 29 and being wiser than I was back when I was 22, I can say that even though I learned a lot, there's just something wrong with being asked to work for free. I was wondering, because of that, especially taking into account my image of the profession prior to becoming a student, I really started to wonder whether it was the economy getting worse, it was the profession losing its value, the advent of technology bringing value to different kind of professions. I really could not pinpoint what really was the cause for me experiencing all these kind of devaluing positions, and just feeling like I cannot really imagine supporting myself in my first years of my career without asking for help from my family. It's one thing to be asked to work for free or for almost free, and taking into account the sheer amount of time necessary to make projects happen. For some occasions, it would be 6 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day, not including the 2 hours car commute that I would have to do. Back then I would do it because I felt I had no alternative, but looking back now, the conditions through which I have put myself to work have been discouraging. The work itself is hard, the responsibility level is high, and then not being able to have personal time or even sacrificing your personal time without necessarily gaining the ability to support yourself. The thing that I mostly want to address today is self blame that comes as a result of experiencing this difficulty and this struggle. Everyone is different, but for me and my personality and the way I was raised, I thought that to be experiencing these very challenging conditions and to not be gaining much out of it in terms of my pay and my compensation, I just would internalize it as me not being good enough to have better conditions, and then that would kind of perpetuate me staying in underpaid positions with huge amounts of overtime work, and wanting to think that it's not just me that has this frame of view. I am afraid that a lot of us are self-internalizing the conditions of the profession right now, and this creates within us unreasonable amount of persistence and effort for something that is just not right. And I would just like to offer some alternative way of thinking about things that would allow for things to get better, both on an individual level, to the point that we can improve something, that we try to improve it, but also to realize to which extent things are our responsibility and to which extent we need to start rethinking the way the profession is being structured and how certain things are being accepted universally that actually really need to change. If you find yourself in a position where you're just giving your all at your current position, but somehow you're being offered little to nothing for it, just don't want you to think that this is your fault, that you don't have enough talent to deserve better pay or a better position, more creative position. It's more like here I want to create a connection with education, the educational system, and how it glorifies the profession, and it creates a shiny image of the profession that we come to experience in reality is really different. And but then this gap between the image that architectural education cultivates about the profession and the reality of the profession is so disparate that we end up thinking it is our fault that we are not in these creative positions with this big salary and this promise of a rewarding future where we get to choose our projects and our clients and all that. And if you find yourself in a similar position, I just offer my experience to you as something to think back against on, just as a way to connect with you and for you to get to know me a bit more. If you felt resonant with any of this and if you would like to hear more from me, I would appreciate that you subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you have any thoughts, you're more than welcome to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for being here, and I'll